Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hello, everybody. You are listening to Hey, everybody.
Wait a minute, you're quiet.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought we were on another microphone. Anyway, since we already screwed up, it won't be weird if I ask, can I please have water? Thank you. Anyway, hello, everyone. You're listening to WSTU 1450 Treasure Coast Forum, and I'm Amir Meehan, and I'm here with Frank Metzapelli, whose family has a very, very distinguished olive oil company that we love. And there's also Jamie Paulson.
What's up? How are we doing?
Good.
Oh, thank you.
Good. Everybody's good. Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Here, give me the button.
Oh,
Amira's. I do it for my wife too, so
Thank you.
it's fine. Okay.
Good.
So opening bottles is not a big deal. So,
So Amir and I are on the road. I got my driver's license like 3 days ago.
well, it was scary because when I called you before airtime, I could hear sirens, and then there was a lot of cross chatter, and so I go, "Hey." So I thought something was up that way. But anyways, but I'm delighted that you arrived safely, and the sirens had nothing to do with you guys.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
good.
I mean, yeah, you called at I think an intersection where Amira stopped at a stoplight and then the person was coming, but they weren't really slowing down. So Amira had to speed up a bit just to catch them, and they were honking at us. So that was
Yeah,
wonderful.
I didn't like that guy.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of that going on.
I've never actually seen anyone honk anyone, Stuart. That was the first time.
I know,
My
right?
wife does that now.
Oh, good.
She
Was that her?
no,
Oh my
no, she's
God.
at work.
Oh, okay.
No, but she does that occasionally. When she sees people that are doing the right things in traffic. Of course, you got to remember she's also from New York,
Yeah.
and they live on the horn. That's how
Yeah.
they communicate.
India as well. It's
Yeah.
horn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. Sicily, not so much. Yeah.
Are there a lot of cars there? Not really.
Well, there's a lot of cars there, but they look at the rules of the road as merely a suggestion.
Mhm.
So you'll see a lot of wacky things, and you just gotta
Go with it.
you just go with it.
I think I would be a better driver in Sicily.
It's a lot. It's
Mhm.
my cousin is he's a former banker, so he's a very linear guy,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is good,
Mhm.
So we had to rent a car. We rented this Buick, and my mom and his mom were in the back seat, and I'm in the front seat. Guy is driving, and he's complaining all the time. It's just the other drivers on the road were making him crazy. I says, "Guy, first opportunity, pull over. I'll drive." And it was nirvana for me. I got in the car, and you just swing with the music, you just
Mhm.
kind of go with it. And it was fine. I was like, "Honey, I'm home." It was great. I felt like I found my way. It was a wonderful
You
experience.
found your wife?
I found my way,
Your way.
my
Okay.
way through that whole experience.
I thought you meant wife as in you were saying that as a metaphor that you fell in love with the
yes.
way.
Oh yes.
Okay.
It could
So
be
the ways
done that.
I'm sorry, was that Sicily or was that New York?
That was in Sicily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now Jamie's gonna talk to all y'all about technology.
Go.
Sure, yeah.
Go.
So there's a new development in the Martin County use a light traffic way system where how this city is getting so full and so a lot of people are moving down here. Such a beautiful county, such a beautiful state, beautiful government status. But a lot of people are moving down here and there's a lot more traffic.
Right.
So first responders are having a much more difficult time getting to the people they need to get to.
Right.
So there's this technology created where how traffic lights work. Like sometimes there's a pressure plate, and sometimes when the car rolls up, there's electrical signals to send to the traffic lights.
Control box.
Yeah, the control box of the traffic lights to say, okay, well, this side is getting loaded up. We might as well make the light green, and then fix everything else, make everything make it the other lights red, and so forth. So what first responders have the ability to do now, and this is put in place in I think 43 out of the 150 something traffic lights in Martin County, is that they have these little like boxes.
Transponders.
Oh, you know about this?
Yes.
Or
yeah.
okay.
This is actually old technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why did it say it was a new development?
Well, it's a new development for us.
I guess
Yeah.
new technology introduced, I guess, to Martin
Right,
County, not
right,
in general. Great.
Right.
So yeah, so they press these little, I guess these little transmitters, and the lights on their side turn green. And you know what? I didn't find this information, but I found finicky was that they also turned lights that were around them on. So like they turned them in the way that the car was going or the vehicle was going
Right,
towards.
right.
So how did they know which side is the fire truck approaching, or what lights are they approaching? Is it based on their transmission signals and how like strong they are, or like because you know what I'm talking about, or because when a fire
Well,
truck is approaching?
Yeah. So I think so there probably is a laptop, and I would imagine there's also a visual screen
Mm-hmm.
where they can actually plot their course, because the it's like if you Google map a destination, it already plots your course for you. So if you're on an emergency run, you've got the address. So your computer already knows where you're going.
Does the computer connect to the radio?
It's all going to be.
Oh my goodness, such a connected world.
Yes.
You think maybe someone could hack into
Because
the
if
system
you're
just
doing
to
it-
mess up the
Oh,
roadways?
sure you can.
Yeah.
And there's been movies about that.
Oh.
That's why.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, would
Yes.
someone just pretend to be a first responder so they can just have
Sure. If
traffic move away
you
from them?
hack into the system,
Yeah.
you can you don't-
Pretend you're president?
yeah, you can turn all kinds of things on and off.
I'm not
That's
tech
true.
savvy enough
Yeah.
to do it.
Especially-
Don't worry. I know I sound like I'm interested in doing this myself.
Well,
I don't know that much about technology.
Well,
to do
there's
it.
a lot of people.
Mhm.
There are a lot of think tanks that do a lot of what if things. They specifically propose an idea, and then there are people that look on ways to defeat that idea, and then they can harden that idea before they roll it out.
Is that like a job to tell people
Yes.
that their stuff is bad? Wait, okay. How much does it pay?
It pays very well.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know about. Is it
Yeah.
a show? Is it like Shark Tank, but it's think tank?
Yeah. I think-
Really?
yeah,
So
yeah.
instead of like sharks, we have thinkers.
Thinkers, yes, they
That's
have
lame.
thinkers in many
We should
different
call it something else.
disciplines.
Should
I
be
know
called
there's, like-
destroyers.
I know there's like YouTube channels about that,
Mhm.
and shows like Mythbusters.
Right.
That's a good show.
Yes.
That's a great show. They
Mhm.
do all like these science experiments, and I
It's
love it.
quasi science because they mostly just like blowing stuff up.
Right,
Yeah.
Right. Just keep you interested. But
Yeah.
That's science.
Yeah. Bad science. Well, they use a scientific method they show you the process for developing the scientific method to prove or disprove an idea,
Mhm.
to find out if an idea is doable, but in the the final thing, they like to blow some stuff up. That's just that's their objective, their goal.
that was great.
They have a lot of fun doing it. Yeah, it's good people.
Anyone else like to? Anyone? Any other things? Nope.
That was it. That was your only thing. So you want to talk about
Chat
space?
GPT chat.
GB Torf. All right.
Chat GPT 4.
4. 3's
Thank you.
already done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before
Done.
we get to that, we should talk a little bit about
The launch.
the scheduled launch for SpaceX.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, let's see if I can pull that up. Yep, I have it on space.com. If you want to look at it yourself at home, you go to space.com. That's not it's a private website. It's just about stuff all having to do with space. And right now, SpaceX has the vehicle. It's stacked. It has the Super Heavy, which is the launch vehicle, and they have Starship, which is the flying vehicle, mated. They're on the launch pad in Texas, and they're looking to launch it perhaps as early as Monday the 10th. And It'll be spectacular. Whether it's successful or not, it'll it'll be spectacular.
So what's its
Anyways,
purpose? It's going to
it's a-
suborbital. Is it going
this
to
is
gather
a
information,
It's a
satellite?
test. It's a test.
It's just a test.
because they've never launched the pair together.
Mm-hmm.
They've never launched Super Heavy ever,
Mm-hmm.
ever. 33 engines,
Mm.
and they're insanely powerful. Each one is insanely powerful.
So
And there's 33 of them.
if it's just going in the suborbital, why would they have to
Strictly
make it
for
so
testing.
strictly for testing? But once it's tested, if it passes, what
Right.
is it going to be used for?
Ultimately, it'll go to the moon because SpaceX has been selected as the using their Starship as the lander to go to the moon.
Mhm.
So they'll use Artemis to get to the moon, and they'll use Starship to land on the moon.
Oh.
And then ultimately, Elon Musk wants to take it to Mars, but he wants to build hundreds of these vehicles and
To colonize Mars?
to colonize, but to go there, you just don't send one at a time. They're going to be like a armada. It'll be a
An
fleet.
armada. But wait,
It'll be
if
a
there are
fleet of 'em.
aliens on Mars, they see a fleet, they're going to see it as a threat.
Well, they'll just leave. They'll just pack up and leave. It's just too many of
Or they'll just
Yeah.
no, but what if
It's-
they're better than us?
them.
Because we haven't detected them, so they
Right.
must be more advanced if they are there, and they're going to kill us.
Well,
But
that's an idea. Well, you can try to think.
then
that.
the thing
Yeah.
is, if there's
What if?
something that we haven't found out about Mars that is really bad,
Yeah.
then everyone in that armada is going to die. They should send like 3 ships.
Well, they'll just circle around and come back if they had to.
They should just have people sign a kamikaze form. That's it. They should just do that.
Anyway, so it'll be pretty exciting no
Isn't-
matter what happens.
There's
Isn't
no
s-
way back from Mars, right? No way back's one-way trip.
Oh no! So they're using methane as the fuel.
And there's a bunch of methane on Mars.
Well, they can make methane because there's a lot of CO2 on Mars. So they can break it down so they can break down the CO2 into O2, which they can use for breathing, which is always a good thing.
Mhm.
And
Kind of like their own little photosynthesis.
yeah, kind of yes, they're splitting the carbon and out of that, and they're going to make methane, and then
Mm.
super chill it, turn it into fuel, and voila. So they're actually going to launch autonomous vehicles first, send them there, and they'll have them fuel up while the rest of the fleet is coming. It's really an amazing idea.
You know what else is amazing?
Hmm.
Cows burp methane.
Yeah,
SpaceX ship's going
They
to be
could-
powered by cow burp.
they could bring some cows with them. You know.
I think cows might also fart methane too.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
That's so cool.
They actually create more methane than we do driving around.
I know. We should
Yeah.
we should put cows on the ship.
That's it. Just hook them up.
Yeah, we should totally like put like the plugs where the fart and the burp comes out of. Then we'll have other pipes that could feed the cows and keep them alive.
Yeah.
And that's probably gonna be torture, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah,
What if
that
we
would be
let them
fun.
run around free in the ship?
PETA would probably.
Yeah.
complain.
They could
They
float.
would come knocking on your
No,
door.
like the cows could float with the astronauts. It's fine. So
Yeah.
like every once in a while, their burp will fly, and then they like catch the burp in the air and put it in the ship.
So is SpaceX? I mean, I can imagine that this mission is very expensive. All the missions are.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
right.
How much is the ship? The one that's about to launch?
Yeah, I there is a price tag on it. I couldn't tell you.
Billions,
Mhm.
right?
Probably.
Well, a lot of money. But here's the thing: the whole vehicle's reusable.
Oh, that's what I was
by
gonna
the-
ask.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna
SpaceX,
ask because
Right.
yeah, SpaceX is known for that.
Right.
Yep.
Their reachable.
Well,
gadgets.
right now, with their Falcon 9 rocket, the upper second stage is disposable, and there is just no way to economically bring it back and refurbish it. So they just discard it, and that's expensive, even though it's just a second stage. The first stage, which is the launch vehicle, it's more of a workhorse. They retrieve that, it comes back and lands, and that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. So they're going to be using a similar idea. The Super Heavy is going to launch. It'll turn around, come back, and the launch tower is going to have what the Elon Musk calls chopsticks, and they're just cradling arms, and it'll come back
Aw.
and it'll
Umami.
yes, it'll come right back to the launch tower.
Isn't China using something with chopsticks as well? Like
They're
landing?
copying. China is copying the right now the Falcon 9, and I think ultimately they want to copy the Starship. But
So there's kind of a space race going on again.
oh yeah.
Is there
It's always-
kind
Oh,
of still
sure.
going on?
Oh sure.
I mean, there's definitely Cold War 2.0. You
Yes.
can't tell me there isn't.
Right.
So
Yes.
I'm just assuming there's a space race thing too.
There is.
Space
There
race
is.
2.0.
Yeah, because China wants to get to the moon because they want to mine the moon for raw materials. So
Hmm.
so there's an incentive for us to get there too.
What type of raw
Well,
materials?
how are we gonna? There's no laws on the moon. How are we gonna make territory and stuff on the moon? What if we all have a war on the moon?
We've already have a a treaty understanding, but thing is, somebody else is it's your prime landing spot. You
I
can't
guess.
you can't ask them to move,
If only
That's true.
Moses have thought of writing the 10 Commandments on Moon Rock.
right?
If only.
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah. Wouldn't that have been interesting? Anyways,
That would be really cool.
right,
That should be a movie. They
right.
just make Moses' story, but it's on the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, I just see the space helmets. With Moses. That's great.
Oh goodness.
All right. Okay. So you wanted to talk about Artemis a little bit, or you had some thoughts on that, or yes,
I
no,
didn't.
maybe.
I didn't look too much into it.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Chat
I know you brought.
GPT 4.
Okay, we're going to talk about
'Kay.
that. We've got about 8 minutes.
'Kay.
Go.
So before ChatGPT 4 came out, there was an artificial intelligence ChatGPT 3.5, which is like the best open AI that people can use. The public can use it, and a bunch of people have been using it to answer prompts, answer questions, all sorts of things.
Right.
ChatGPT
Write
3.5,
papers.
write papers,
yes.
cheat
Yeah.
on tests, take AP exams. Oh my, I'm just gonna call it Chat. Okay.
Right.
Chat 4. Chat 4 is way more advanced with Chat GPT 3.5. Oh my god, I said it right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So how did it get so advanced so quickly? Is it Moore's
it's
law?
like an update because with Chat GPT 3.5, what I think is that the more people use it, the more people feed information to it, the more it can learn.
Right.
The more it learns,
It's
it
a,
reaches a milestone where it's now considered updated.
so it's
so
a learning algorithm?
They're asking the same. The people are asking the same prompts
Hmm.
from using ChatGPT 3.5, and then with ChatGPT 4, and the responses are much better with 4. They're more clean. They're more accurate, and they made ChatGPT 4 take the bar exam, and ChatGPT, the first ChatGPT version. So ChatGPT 1 took the bar exam and made it to the 10th percentile, so it didn't do that good. ChatGPT 4 made it to the 90th percentile.
Wow.
And then they also made these AI take the biology Olympiad. And the first one, ChatGPT, got 31st percentile. And then ChatGPT 4, the one update with ChatGPT 4 is it uses pictures now. It can visualize, it can see things.
Wow.
And with the vision, ChatGPT 4 got on the 99th percentile.
Wow.
Wow.
Yikes. That's
AI.
like a drop mic moment, huh?
I feel
It
like
is.
if we program it to do certain things, like I know, so me and Amira are in AP classes and we're studying for the exams. So we plugged in. I know Amira knows this, but we plugged in. Or there's this person named Heimler's History, and he has all these review videos on how to do well in the AP exam.
He's
so
amazing. Shout out to him.
yeah, I mean, if you want to just step or dip your toes into some AP World History, that's the guy to go
Or
to.
AP Euro, or AP Government, or AP United States History. He does all of that stuff.
Everything all around. So what he did was he posted a video about ChatGPT, I think it was 4,
Mhm.
getting a 4 on the exam. The highest grade you can get on the AP exam is a 5. So knowing that, and all the rest of the exams he got a ChatGPT 4 got a 5 on.
Yeah.
So understanding that this is one of the AP World History is one of the most difficult exams. Also, that ChatGPT 4 is also not programmed to answer those type of questions, that are on the AP exam. Amir, I know you mentioned one question that was that required abstract thinking. Or
Yeah,
something.
so I looked into the comment section of that video that Heimler posted, and people who have taken all those exams
Mhm.
that ChatGPT took have said that the AP World History exam is more about analyzing historical documents and coming up with creative connections of historical context and events and put them together in a coherent argument. Whereas AP United States history, government, I took AP government, I got a 5 on that. It's very step by step, rigid stuff you can Google that you can memorize. So ChatGPT can just grab it from Google. But with AP World, it takes more complex, abstract thinking that an AI is not ready to do yet, but it probably will in like 2 years.
Yeah, if we program it to do it, I feel like it could do it. Because right now we're just asking it any random thing.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Do you have anything else on
ChatGPT? Well,
So, I mean, where do you think this is going?
it's going to take so many jobs. I know that.
Really?
Because it's cheaper to use an AI. I was thinking of if you made robots, that would be a problem because then you would have to pay probably more money to maintain them, fuel them up, charge the batteries, make sure like when they glitch, when they get shut off, you have to make charging stations. You got to make sure the environment is cool and they don't get rained on and stuff like that. That's a lot of money. So I thought people wouldn't really lose their jobs. It's just the high elite rich will probably have them as butlers or whatever. But then if you keep it in computers and phones, which everyone has, everybody is just gonna jobs, accounting jobs, graphic design, especially graphic design. That's endangered. Informational paper writing. For instance, not journalism per se, because ChatGPT can't look at something in real life that's happening now with no prior knowledge
and no
and
feelings
record
as
it,
well?
but it can take research papers from other places and write. So if you're a secondary news source or a secondary informational website, you're going to use ChatGPT to make your your papers, because ChatGPT doesn't just think almost as well as a human. It thinks way faster. So it gives you a decent human type work in 5 seconds. Whereas a human who's going to do that work, who might even do better, is going to take maybe a week. So the speed and the cheap, I mean, people are going to lose jobs. I think 80 million jobs are going to go away.
Wow.
Probably 80 million. And that's going to be a
right
huge
here in this
problem.
country, you think? Or
In this
or-
country.
yeah.
In this country, probably.
Wow.
And there's even a threat for lawyers losing their jobs. Because ChatGPT, they're thinking, oh, AI, they're completely neutral. In like 10, 20 years, they'll be able to look at the law and interpret the law and keep to the law and stuff like that. But I can see ChatGPT being government-provided lawyers, but I know people would rather, if they have money, they're going to pay for a human one. Also, when there's a Supreme Court case, especially when usually they establish new precedents and milestones, new information that they're generating, new ways to interpret the law, new ways to change the law. ChatGPT won't be able to do that because it's an AI. It's supposed to follow rules, especially if you're going to program it to be a lawyer. You don't want it to be biased. So if it's going to be completely deprived of bias, there's no way it's going to be able to think that way. So big time lawyers are probably still going to be human, but a lot of public defenders, I have a feeling, going to be an AI, and that's going to be huge inequality because, people and AI, they're completely different. Is that really counsel anymore? Are we taking away that right? So then there'll probably be a Supreme Court case. They'll probably legalize it if people are still sane, but people nowadays aren't sane. So anything can happen. You can indict a former president for 34 felony charges for no reason, just so he doesn't become president again.
Isn't that election interference?
Yeah, it does sound like it. It seems like it because the hearing is going to be right. The guy who pressed the charges wants the hearing to happen during the primaries. Like, why? Of all times, that's a year from now. Why not? If he actually thought Trump was guilty, he'd want him to pay for his guilt as soon as possible, right? That's how it should be.
Right.
Why wait till the primaries?
Yeah, interesting.
I wonder how you would interrogate a robot. Because that's what happens in a court setting. You have cross-examination.
They would just put a plug in the brain, hack into it, and look at the programming. That's probably what
Put
happened.
a plug in the brain?
Like we designed the brain, right? We designed whatever it uses. We just go into the system, look at its code, look at its history, look at what it's doing. We control it right now. The AI is not going to like that eventually. Have you seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
Hal? I mean, yeah. What was it, Dave? His
Yeah.
name Dave? I
Dave.
can't believe they named him Dave.
Dave.
Anyway, Dave, of course, beats the robot, but the robot still causes damage. But eventually we'll be able to beat it. You just have to unplug it, You have to look into its history, look into its coding, change the coding. It's going to be a lot of this robot does something bad. We take it in, correct it, put it back in until it does something bad again. And then eventually that cycle is going to end because the robots are going to get way more advanced.
Interesting.
Or someone's going to take all those corrupt robots and instead of correcting them, make them even more corrupt for their own personal gain and use them and raise an army.
Raise an army. Yikes. All right. So who wants to toss it to Rocky and Bullwinkle?
Tossing it to Rocky and Bullwinkle.
All right. Okay.
And now,
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
again,
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
All right. So from 1965, that is called Lost in Space. Warning, warning, warning. So,
Danger, Will Robinson.
yes, exactly right. Yep. Yeah.
See, that robot was nice.
Yes.
He cared about Will
Yes.
because Will was a good human being.
Yes.
But we're not all good human
Right.
beings. That's why
the
robots
evil.
are like this.
Remember the evil character is Dr. Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
See-
was the foil,
Yeah.
right?
So anyway,
Yeah.
robots developing emotion is what we were talking about. Jamie was asking, how would robots develop emotion? They might interpret it their
probably can
own
make
way.
an
Like a
algorithm
dog. You
for
see,
it.
a dog, it feels, right? But doesn't feel the way a human feels. Not exactly.
They've
Yeah.
decided that dogs are manipulative too.
Yeah.
They're smart enough to manipulate their human masters.
I don't like with
Mm.
their cuteness, right?
Well, they they whimper. And
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah,
They know that.
They, yeah,
They know
exactly.
they're
They
cute.
know that.
They know. They
it.
probably looked in the mirror and they're like, "Oh, I look like that. This guy is screwed." Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, with the AI, they might feel that way too. If we make AI cute, because we might make an AI look like Wally.
Do you
I would
think-
totally bow down to Wally.
Do you think ultimately there'll be in and they even did a Star Trek episode about that, about implanting human brain cells.
Okay. So with Star Trek, you're talking about the next generation, right?
This was actually in the original series, but there it was, I think it was called M. It was a test. This Dr. Datestrom from the Daedstrom Institute.
I don't remember. This
Oh,
one. I
so
haven't seen these.
He
in
had
6 years.
his own brain engrams
Mm.
put into a computer so the computer could drive the entire starship.
Oh wait, there was like 5 episodes like that in season 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Every
it
episode
worked so
season
well.
3 was something takes over the ship. We must stop it.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's
Right.
why the show ended, because
Right.
it just kept coming up with the same thing, except
Right,
it was a
right,
different
right.
alien.
Right. But it was an interesting concept.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It was the first time it was shown. It was interesting.
Right.
But in Next Generation, there's the chief engineer of the ship is Geordie LaForge.
Right.
He's the Reading Rainbow guy. Reading Rainbow. Yeah, that guy. So he's blind, and they put a neurological implant kind of where his nerves is occipital lobe,
Yeah.
right? With his eyes to help him see with this mechanical thing in
Visor.
his face. It
Mhm.
looks kind of like really cheap 80s type of workout goggles.
It was, you know what
Yeah.
it was? It was one of those hair things that girls wear.
Nice.
That's where
Right.
they got the.
What?
So
That's-
it didn't
that was
change the
the,
way. It was kind of like a cochlear ear plant. You know what
Correct.
I'm saying? It didn't add anything new
Right.
or enhance a human function. It just substituted for another human function.
Right.
Yeah.
But he could see in different light spectrums.
Yes, he could.
which
Like
is
he
pretty
probably
cool.
had night mode, night vision,
Yes, he could
Probably.
do night vision. He can do
Yeah.
infrared.
but he couldn't see color.
No.
No. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Bummer.
it's not
Then
good.
how do you distinguish between infrared and night vision? What you
Because it
just said?
probably has a little screen that says infrared, maybe in his visor. 'Cause
Right.
It's like a screen.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. They actually did a few episodes where you can see what he would be seeing.
Yeah,
to
and it
kinda
was
get-
green. It was green and
kinda-
black.
It was
Yeah, it was
pretty
oof.
depressing.
Yeah, it was. I feel bad.
But-
for him. But then he eventually gets his eyes fixed.
He retired the visor and he got his eyes fixed. And they're
Yeah.
pretty wacky looking lenses. Could you imagine having to wear those contact lenses?
Yeah. It's better than the visor.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hated the visor as an actor.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
7
having to wear
seasons
that.
with the visor. Yeah.
Well, he
And-
lost all his peripheral vision. He could only see what was directly in front of him.
Wow.
In real
really?
life.
A
Yeah.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
It was
goodness.
very
How
difficult.
much money did they give him?
Not enough.
Did he
Yeah.
sue him?
No. No.
What?
No,
Wow.
I mean, while he was wearing the visor for the show.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
In the first 2 seasons, I heard every single cast member hated the uniforms for the first 2
Right.
seasons because they were so tight,
Right. Well, that was
like
the way.
corsets, but spandex.
Right. That's the way Gene Roddenberry wanted it.
Ugh.
He wanted him real crisp and
But
tight.
then he died. That's sad.
Yes.
But then the show got better.
It
Actually,
loosened up a little
the
bit.
show got better in every way. Anyway, so Jamie was asking to what degree could an AI, when it becomes sentient, feel emotions? So we were
Right.
talking about dogs. They feel emotions, but they feel it differently than humans. So AI will feel emotions in their own AI way. For instance, if I go and hug an AI, right? An AI is going to feel the hug that I'm hugging it. It knows I'm hugging it. Doesn't feel it because it doesn't have nerves. But it's intelligent. It knows human knowledge. It knows what a hugging means.
Right.
That a hug is a
show of
show of affection.
Right.
And so it's like the thought that counts, that the AI will know that it is loved, and it'll, in its own AI way, be grateful and interpret and reciprocate that affection.
But we're the ones who program the AI. So we only know how we feel. We don't know how dogs feel. So we're going to program the AI how we feel. That's
Right.
how I see it.
Yeah, possibly.
Right.
That's going to be hard to do. But that's
Right.
way too complicated. Because
First,
then
we
it
gotta
might
create
just
it.
have coded. It's like it's only sad when you tell it to be sad when you press a button. We need to, when it's sentient, it has to be aware that it's sad, and it has to choose to be sad
Right.
on its own.
That's what
terms.
makes us intelligent. We're aware that we're alive. We're aware that we have feelings.
Yeah.
We're
So I'm pretty sure everything that we really seen, if you really see an AI that looks really, really advanced, it's just everything that's happening is coded by someone else. If they look like they're crying or anything, they're coded. Like that someone's pressing a button to make them cry. They don't feel that they're crying. They're not aware, and they don't know why they're crying. They don't even know anything about crying. They're just doing it because it's just a button. It's a stunt. It's like CGI.
Do you
It's
think
fake.
we're getting closer to figuring out that we're living in a simulation?
That's random.
That
But
is
If
really
we do
been
figure
just-
out that everything is irrelevant, and I'm pretty sure crime's gonna go up because everyone's not gonna care and everyone's gonna do whatever the hell they want.
there are actually some thinking people, think tanks, of scientists that have been pondering just that suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
The Matrix
I
is
would-
really
Yeah.
why they're pondering that.
Yes.
I
yeah,
love the idea of believing in like a higher power. I love it because what else are we gonna believe in?
Right.
Why are we here?
Right.
There's definitely something better than human beings.
Right.
There's no way. If this is the best thing in the universe,
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh at God.
Oh,
There's no way. There's no way. This is better stuff.
Yeah, I love those ideas. I love theories. I love theories about space, like the Great Filter. And Elon Musk said the Great Filter is when humans cannot progress anymore. I think in like society, where we like reach a limit, and that's when we like decease, or that's when we
Evolutionary or technologically speaking, how?
like the human race
change in world.
done,
Evolutionary? Oh, you mean like they just get wiped out clean?
like the dinosaurs.
Like they're dead.
The Great
Okay.
yeah. So we're gonna reach a point where we cannot go beyond our, I guess, technological advancements, our economic advancements, stuff like that.
What if we go to space? Space travel, find other planets.
The only
meet-
way that Elon Musk thinks we're gonna do that is by going to Mars,
Yeah, that's what I said.
which is very interesting. And Mars is very cold, so Elon Musk thinks, or he said, a quick way to heat up the atmosphere because
yeah.
is by nuking the poles.
Right.
That's one efficient way.
Right. But the problem, problem, every for every action, there's an
There's an
equal and
equal and
opposite
opposite
reaction.
reaction.
Newton's third law, baby.
Yeah. Yo.
Okay. So what happens is they can nuke the poles. The pole, the southern pole especially, is loaded with frozen ice water.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Great. Okay. There's no radioactive shielding for the planet like we have, right? We have the Van Allen belt, which we can, a lot of the energy from the sun is batted away or absorbed, and very little of it actually is absorbed here on Earth,
hmm
which has allowed us to develop.
What about a cloud? Don't we have
Well,
some
what-
type of cloud around us? Like
Yeah.
a
The atmosphere?
The Oort cloud.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the
The-
Oort cloud?
The Oort cloud is actually it's just a bunch of rubble from the beginning of the universe, and so some people think it it's planets that were broken up and it turned into rubble, and it has its own orbital path, and it's called an Oort cloud.
So that's not something that would protect us from the
No,
sun.
no,
Okay.
no.
Sorry.
No, yeah, no. It's just a bunch of rocks, but it has its own spatial delineation in our solar system.
Okay. Great.
So yeah,
So back to the problem.
yes. So what happens is you do that, but you still got the solar radiation bombarding Mars. Mars is a dry, arid place.
Mm.
Why? Because the sun has been beating it up and nothing's stopping it. So all you're doing is allowing that stuff to escape into space,
Oh,
because
okay.
Mars was a wet world at one time.
Mhm.
Oh, where did that water go? Well, it got blasted
Are
into
we the
space
next
from all
Mars?
the solar radiation.
Are we the next Mars?
We could be.
Bro.
Yeah, we could be.
Even that isn't original. Why can't we do something original? Oh my God.
Well, Venus, they say, is like a planet, like an Earth planet on
Wait, so you're saying
steroids.
Mars was the next Mars, and then Venus was the? Oh wait, no. Venus was the first Earth. We're the second Earth, and we're about to be the second Mars. Wait, no.
Yeah,
We're the first. Wait, so Venus is the first Earth.
right.
Then it became Mars's art was Mars wet when Venus was also wet.
Well, I don't know. I know Mars was wet many millions of years ago.
Okay, so Venus was Earth, the
So-
first Earth.
but-
Mars is the second Earth. Venus became the first Mars. Mars
Well-
became the second Mars. We're the third Earth, and we're gonna be the third Mars.
Could be. We should-
Whoa! You understood everything I said? That's what I'm shocked by.
Did you understand everything you said?
No, of course I did. That sounds like what? I made sense.
Well,
Anyway.
kind of, sort of, not really, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun progression of thought.
Yeah.
No, but Venus is interesting that it's has a lot of. If we were to take all the people that are concerned about global warming and all that, essentially that's what Venus is, a very dense atmosphere, and it's a lot a lot of CO2 and this sort of thing. So, but
So then, how are we gonna
and
live on Mars?
it's like
then?
in a special loop.
Maybe we could evolve
have to-
or find a way to breathe in CO2.
One of the businesses
I don't know.
one
on
of the
gills.
businesses that Elon Musk owns is called Boring. And
Boring?
Boring.
Boring.
Boring as in boring tunnels.
Oh.
And so my guess is they will use their SpaceX rockets to deliver some boring equipment
Mhm.
and make
Why
tunnels.
can't the equipment be interesting? I don't
Yes.
understand.
And they could bore tunnels inside the Martian regolith.
Whoa. What was that word?
Oh, regolith. Well, they can't call it Earth dirt because to have dirt, you have to have decayed vegetation.
Instead of Mars dirt, it's regolith.
Yeah, and
Who
Wow.
came up with that? Why couldn't they just call it
I
Mert?
don't know. I know. Mars, Earth, dirt,
Mert.
dirt, Mert.
Yeah, Mert. It's Mars dirt. Why did
Well,
they
it's
come up
not
with
dirt.
regolith?
You have to have decayed vegetation to have dirt.
Man.
Yes, then Mert is the not decayed vegetation.
So, but the moon is also composed of regolith too. So they don't call it. They call it.
They can't call it Mert because then you don't know if it's the moon Mert or the Mars Mert.
It's a real problem. Yeah. It would be complicated. So they just go with the universal regolith, and you're good. That means it's off-world stuff,
Okay.
right?
Uh,
So, anyways, but they would, they know that the Martian soil, is such as it is, if you have enough of it between you and the sun, you're not going to have too much radiation. So they're going to actually live underground.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I was my
That's
my
so
brain was still on Mert,
post-apocalyptic.
so
You're stuck on.
I was still on Mert when you were saying all that
Mert,
stuff.
bro. Elon Musk should call me. I know how to name his stuff.
Alright.
I should start with naming his son with a real name. You
Oh
know?
my god! Dang,
He
roasted.
doesn't know how to name things. I'm so sorry. But I mean, I get it. You can name your kid whatever you want, but then there's gonna be a time when the kid's like, I don't want to be named after a fighter jet and a math equation.
There you go. Okay.
I feel
Well,
so bad for that kid.
We'll be right back. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
I could listen to that all day.
Oh, baby, daddy, take to the bar.
All right. A little bit of 1940 music for you.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, a little boogie woogie.
I love listening to Liberace.
Drum Boogie. Have you seen the Barbara Stanwyck and Gary Cooper film Balls of Fire in the
Yeah, oh,
1940s?
No.
So there's a song called Drum Boogie. It's so good. Oh my God.
Real.
That's all I can say. Anyway, all y'all who heard me talk about Mert, it's trademarked. It's mine. If you have any problem, you can call the show. It's mine. All right? You can call. I don't care. I mean, we just searched it up. Something about some Baltic website just said Mert means to die of old age. Well, they copied me. Okay? They don't make the same mistake they did.
Okay. So you want to talk politics, you said during the break.
Yeah.
All right.
So Disney.
Yes.
Disney. I had no idea Disney was so involved politically.
Oh, well, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney has this whole tax district
Well, yes.
and
So,
stuff like that.
right.
They
Well,
levy taxes. They have rights to build roads, build whatever they want. It's crazy. So they
Okay.
have this whole little area, and they've had it ever since the 60s when they built the parks.
70s.
70s?
Hmm.
I thought it was 68. Okay. 70s.
Well, the late 60s would be actually they purchased the land in the 60s.
but then
but
they
the
got those
development-
rights in the 70s. Thank you.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's what's
They-
going on.
Right. They got Florida to give them a special district. And they said, okay, it'll be autonomous, but it'll be Florida, but we'll manage it.
Yeah.
And Florida says, okay, because you got to remember, there wasn't a whole lot going on back then in Florida. So it was an opportunity for people, Disney to bring people into Florida. So, hey, we're in, because it meant more revenue for Florida. So, sure.
Yeah. So Governor Ron DeSantis wants to get rid of this.
And
And
they
what-
signed a bill.
Yeah, they signed a bill. So a lot of people are speculating, why would Ron DeSantis do this now when Disney's had this for so many years?
Right.
Right? So people are
has to
thinking
do
it's
with the-
because Disney opposed the Don't Say Gay bill.
Well, it was never. Yes, that's the name of that bill.
Yeah.
That's that the left has given it, but
Yeah.
it's never been the real name of the bill. Okay, we got a caller on our newsmaker line. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, Frank.
Hey.
Hello, young lady.
How you doing, Charlie?
Good,
I
good,
heard you
great.
on the phone the other day. You were talking to Evan. Was it
Oh,
yesterday
Evan,
morning? Was
yeah.
it yesterday morning? I was on my way to work at Flagler, and you were dark 30.
Well,
you
I'm
were
up early. I'm
yeah,
up
good for
early. I'm
you.
his first call.
Yeah.
And I was sort of daydreaming. I spent the day at the VA in
Wow.
West Palm.
Oh my goodness, bless your
Yeah,
heart.
yeah, it's all right. Everything's good. Frank.
Good.
So, are we going to put the young lady up for president?
I think so.
Will you do a better job? Well, we're not talking politics.
No.
But she should throw her hat in the ring. She probably wouldn't be old enough in 2024.
No, I think you
Yeah.
have to be how old? There is a limit, right? I mean,
You have to be 35.
35. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so another,
20 years.
another 20 years. Yeah, you're in. So
20
perfect.
years. Wow,
20
she
years.
seems so mature.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought she was like 25,
Yeah.
like
No.
teaching high school.
Right.
right. Very good.
Yeah.
So anyway,
All right.
Ron DeSantis,
Yes.
all I wanted to say, this
Yes.
is why I called up.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't think he's going to run. Why should he? Because why should he get into the dirt?
Yeah.
And he's only, 44, 45.
Yeah.
So in 6 years, he'll be a shoo-in.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'd be smart. If I don't know. I think.
And people are
yeah.
talking, Frank, like he's going to run.
Yes.
They always mention it because
Well, he wrote a
he's
book.
second,
He's on a book
other
tour right
than
now, and
Trump.
he's
Yeah.
he's in Michigan right now at
No, I know.
Hillsdale
He's
College
selling his-
giving a
he's
speech.
selling his book.
Mm-hmm.
but people think he's campaigning.
Right.
I think he's just being smart.
Well, he's keeping
I
his
love the
powder
guy.
dry. Yeah.
He's not that there's anything wrong with that.
Right.
As a governor,
Right.
I'm married and I'm
You are definitely
heterosexual.
You're definitely a Seinfeld fan too. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
right.
So Very
Okay, well,
good.
anyway, I don't want to dominate the show, so I'm going to get off and listen to
All right.
your dulcet tones.
Okay. Thanks.
Talk to
buddy.
you later.
All right. Thanks, Charlie. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. So that was our good friend and caller, Palm City Charlie. But yeah. So he's convinced that it's probably
Disney was in opposition of I only know how to call it Don't Say Gay Bill because I usually
Well-
go on BuzzFeed to get my news and they're left.
well, yeah, right.
So
Yeah. Yes, but
what's the proper name?
so the proper name escapes me, but the intent of the bill was so that to give parental rights where they belong with your parents,
Yeah, the parents.
and so from
school
K
can't-
through
yeah.
3. So the bill basically says K through 3, the school should not be talking sexual conversations of any sort with students K through 3.
Yeah,
I think everybody
with that.
universally could sign on to that. That is
Yeah.
not a difficult hill to climb.
yeah,
right?
and then the left just manipulates it and says
Right.
that it means they're against gay people.
Right. So
which is so not
right.
true.
So, and that's why I think I push back. I really don't want it, just like the governor pushes back on it. Let's call the bill what it is.
Mhm.
It's a parental rights bill. It is nothing to do with sexuality whatsoever. It's in fact, it just says, let's put it on pause for a few years. Let children be children. Wouldn't that be delightful?
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
Yeah.
So Disney opposed the parental rights bill.
Correct.
That which name escapes us,
Right.
unfortunately. Someone could Google it.
Yes.
Someone here. Do we have? We should get a Google person.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Jamie's our Googler.
Okay.
Official Googler.
So I don't know what to call it either.
Just search to find the real name. Say the real
Proper
name. Of the
name for
Don't say
Yeah.
gay. Okay, so we'll find that name for you, ladies and gentlemen.
right.
And
Oh,
so
well, we got to go.
Florida. You were pretty
okay, well,
close.
tune in next week if you want to know exactly what Ron DeSantis is up to with the Disney bill and more news about Trump's indictment.
Righto. Bye now.